We haven't found the treaty yet, but we know there was a treaty and our autonomy was maintained, independence to an extent, but all that is history now because then the British handed us over to Pakistan, whereas Pakistan is predominantly Muslim, we are not. And then in 71 we found ourselves in Bangladesh. Bangladesh is predominantly Bengali speaking, we are not. We have our different languages. And so we are religious, ethnic, linguistic minorities in Bangladesh. Now, our challenges with regard to food security, food sovereignty, etc. Recently, one big thing came which really woke us up with a jolt, which is COVID-19. And then we had to bring in all our old social isolation traditions, quarantine traditions. We don't have the word quarantine or social isolation in my language and others. We are 11 different peoples. But we have that practice. We have shifting cultivation, we found out, because we grow our own food. No artificial fertilizers and pesticides. And because of lockdown, we couldn't go to the market to buy rice. Even if we had the money, we found out how important it is to have shifting cultivation where almost everything you eat is grown there. Different kinds of upland rice, to gourd, to pumpkin, to you name it. And that's where our lifestyle of shifting cultivation is mixed with forest fallows. We live in a subtropical forest. But then that does not mean we don't engage in the market either. Some of our farmers are also doing wet rice cultivation, also growing hybrid species of rice. We don't want it, but that fetches a good price. So we in the Hill Tracts are really living in 2 to 3 different worlds. Some parts of our region is like what we were in 1700 or 1600 during the treaty time. And some of us are living in a world where we interact with the market economy, where we grow crops, not just rice, but fruit, oranges, pineapple, etc. We sell. So here we are in the midst of having the challenge of the national government, the Ministry of Land, the Ministry of Forest, Ministry of Food, and the national UN agencies who are sitting there in Dhaka, FAO, WFP, World Food Programme, IFAD, and so forth, UNICEF, UNESCO. And this is where our sisters like Andrea, Mirna, my brother Poncho, and Saul, you guys will be bringing it into international forums, all the thing from CBD to the food, to the climate change. I'm more local now. But I'm trying to bring in these issues so that we are aware that if you have FAO in your country, FAO should come and talk to the Ministry of Agriculture and Land, say, hey, what about these voluntary guidelines? What happened to them? Are you putting some of them into the national policies? And hey, we indigenous peoples have our customary laws, how we have our taboos, our spiritualities. Is that 2 minutes? I'm not. Okay, 1 minute, Andrea. We'll do my best. So that we also bring in our spiritualities where we have our taboos on never to touch salt on a dried salt, a salt lick on a stream, because that's a sin. And whereby the elephant, we have elephants still, some bison, wild, deer, sambar, who come and eat that salt. So we have many of these taboos, which are not just superstition. That is how we use our natural resources, our forests, our streams, sustainably. So our biggest challenge is how do we take account of, remember that we're in a market economy, we are on the tri-borders, China's building big roads, so is India in Burma, deep sea port and all that. So we don't know, they're coming for gas, we hear in our region, they came for oil before. But anyway, I'll end with that by saying that we are the traditional systems. I have about 1,300 village chiefs in my territory. We are 3 of us, and we sit with our sisters and brothers of elected regional councils, tribal majority, hill district councils. We have some members of parliament, and we are trying to find a way how these institutions will work with each other along with our indigenous peoples organizations and some NGOs, and try to get our issues on food sovereignty, food security onto the national agenda table and onto the international, and get the UN agencies who are supposed to be helping the government and us, because all those things that happen in the outcome document of the World Conference on Indigenous Peoples. And just one more thing, Randia, please, 10 seconds. Here we have these protected areas. So Bangladesh wants to create protected areas. It's just a signboard. It's a national park, it's an eco park, it's a sanctuary, but they just have the such and such square kilometers, square miles of territory as national parks, with nothing there chasing us out of those areas, including the plains. So this is one. Many of you go to the CBD. I'm asking you to speak for us. Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here.